Hey everybody, this one is about cryptocurrencies and Bitcoin. Copies of these documents can be found in my private group at Yahoo called Administering Your Public Servants. For a complete set of YouTube videos with private information shares, a DVD with over 50 searchable law dictionaries, and other books and forums, contact me privately at engineerwin@yahoo.com. Donations to support this work are appreciated. This last paragraph is for all the Satanist order followers operating under the Federal Tax Lien Act of 1966, because I prefer gold or silver coin. But as an extremely less desirable alternative, I can accept the IOUs, the Federal Reserve notes, the PayPal gifts, the checks, the money orders, etc. Send me an email for particulars. So a little background. I started looking into Bitcoin in 2015, 2014 timeframe. I set up my Coinbase account in 2015. I bought Bitcoin on Coinbase when all they had available was Bitcoin. I bought Bitcoin prior to the halving in July of 2016, hoping that it would happen, it would explode. And it did a little bit, but not that much. Since then, they've expanded Ethereum and Litecoin. Coinbase has. And in September of 2016, I sold 11 Ethereum for around $7. And that means $77. And Ethereum is now over $200 and was as high as $400. In other words, if I had sold it, that same 11 Ethereum in May, I would have got $4,400. Wow, that's a far cry from $77, right? And that is actually quite typical for all the cryptos, and I think you're going to see a lot more of that, and even much more impressive gains. I currently own Ethereum, Bitcoin, Bytecoin, Digibytes, Cloak, Litecoin, Komodo, and New Economy Market cryptocurrencies, and I have some other ones that I want to get. And I try to buy cryptos every week. But let's go into some of the basics about money. Okay, what money is. So we have to understand that to understand the nature of Bitcoin and what's happening with that. At common law, only gold or silver legal tender. Okay, and that's citing an 1820 court case, but that's actually citing Book 2 of the Institutes and the Laws of England by Coke, which goes back to the 1500s. And there's a distinction between a debt discharged and one paid. When discharged, the debt still exists, though divested of its character as a legal obligation during the operation of the discharge. And that's a Minnesota court case, so that's why I have that little statement up in the front about preferring gold or silver coin. Okay, and so because otherwise the Satanist thieves think that you want your debts discharged rather than paid, and so that's what the taxes are for. The limited liability, discharging your debts with limited liability, that's a benefit. This is the Gold Reserve Act of 1934 at 48 Stat 337. Section 15 says, as used in this act, the term United States means government of the United States. The term currency of the United States means currency which is legal tender in the United States and includes United States notes and Federal Reserve notes. And so what that's saying, think about it, is that Federal Reserve notes are meant for internal use of the government only. And they're forced loans. This is Juilliard versus Greenman, U.S. Supreme Court. The forced loans of 1862 and 1863 in the form of legal tender notes were vital forces in the struggle for national supremacy. They form a part of the public debt of the United States. So legal tender is a forced loan, right? And so Federal Reserve notes are commercial paper. Federal Reserve notes are forced loan. Federal Reserve notes are IOUs. All commercial paper falls into two categories. It's either a promissory note or an IOU. And so a promissory note does not equal IOUs. That's an error, but it's a promissory note or an IOU. And the requirement for a promissory note is a promise to pay. And remember when they had gold certificates and silver certificates? Those were promissory notes because you could go and get the gold or silver at the Treasury. And so that's all part of it. So gold or silver. So a Federal Reserve note is basically some guy promised to pay me, and when he pays me, I'll pay you. That's exactly what it is. It sets up a trust. So to Bitcoin, or the cryptocurrencies, actually. Bitcoin was the first of the cryptocurrencies. There will be 21 million coins maximum created. We're probably about a third of the way through. There's hundreds of cryptocurrencies. If you go to the coinmarketcap.com website, to that link, to that address, it will show that there's over 800 cryptocurrencies just on that website, and they probably only have about maybe half of them, and there's new ones that are coming out every day. Many are mined. We'll talk a little bit more about mining further on in this presentation. Some of them are bankster created, like Ripple and others. Okay, and so like for example, there's a Steemit. Okay, I'm not sure how Steem is created on Steemit. Steemit is a website that does, you put articles. It's usually about cryptocurrencies, but it can be articles about anything, and they pay you Steem depending on how much money or how much activity the article creates. And so and then there's gaming cryptocurrencies, there's gambling cryptocurrencies, there's all sorts of stuff. Anyways, it is really like the dot-com craze of the 1990s. Many will explode, like Amazon.com and eBay.com, and many will disappear. Recently, the Securities and Exchange Commission say they wanted to regulate all ICOs, which stands for initial coin offerings, and I think that's a joke. I think it's impossible. Most of them are overseas, and even the ones that are overseas that are not overseas, they're not securities. Okay, and we're going to go into what the definition of a security. I mean, unless they make major changes to the Uniform Commercial Code, I don't see how they can regulate any of it. A security is a fungible, negotiable financial instrument that holds some type of monetary value. It represents an ownership position in a publicly traded corporation, a creditor relationship with a governmental body or corporation represented by owning that entity's bond, or rights to ownership as represented by an option. And that's taken from Investopedia website. This is the Uniform Commercial Code 1-201, the general definition section, number 35. Security interest means an interest in personal property or fixtures which secures payment or performance of an obligation. Security interest includes any interest of a consignor and a buyer of accounts, chattel paper, a payment intangible, or a promissory note in a transaction that is subject to Article 9. And cryptocurrencies don't fall into any of that. Okay, and this definition here actually is quite a bit more lengthy than this. I had to shrink it down to get it in here, but basically it's paper. Okay, a security is paper. It's Roman cult paper. And this is Uniform Commercial Code Article 9, 9-102 definitions again. A security agreement, paragraph 74, means an agreement that creates or provides for a security interest. Again, it's paper. So let's do a little comparison. You have gold or silver. It can be counterfeited. Okay, it's counterfeited all the time. People buy counterfeit gold or silver on eBay all the time. You got to be careful who you buy from on eBay. It's not infinitely divisible. Okay, if you have a silver dime, then a 10th ounce of silver. Okay, you're gonna have to, if it goes up to $10,000 an ounce, then you're going to be hard pressed to buy a loaf of bread with that. There's no authenticity verification. I mean, short of some sort of field resonance engineering or something like that to magnetically tell if it's really silver and it's pure silver and all that. There's no way that you can know. Looks like silver. That's about all you can do. Storage, it can be lost or stolen, and it is all the time, even if it's in a safe deposit box. The governments have been known to steal money out of safe deposit boxes. It's portable. Well, yes and no. I mean, you can walk down the street with it and you can pay some debt with it or buy something with it. That's true. But it's pretty hard to buy something on the other side of the planet unless you go there. It's recognized but not necessarily accepted. And that's true too. Taxes, yes and no. In Texas in particular, if you bought $1,000 worth or more, then there was no sales tax. Otherwise, they'd charge you sales tax on it. And so, there's always that issue. And many of the states are turning away from that, but still there's the potential. Okay. Anonymity, yes, it is fairly anonymous. Federal Reserve notes, it can be counterfeited, and they are all the time. There's a lady that I know of that's a bit of a idiot, quite frankly, but got stuck with a 1-year probation for passing a counterfeit $20 bill. Okay, and so she got stuck with it and didn't know what it was, and they stuck her with probation as if she's some sort of criminal. Okay, that's these bail priests in the kangaroo courts, how they operate. It's not infinitely divisible. A dollar is a dollar, although they do inflate it into nothing. So, I mean, they could do it that way, I suppose. There's no authenticity verification. You can sit there and look for the magnetic or the platinum strip, and you can look for the fibers, but at the end of the day, I mean, that's all you have. Does it look right? Storage can be stolen or lost, and they are stolen or lost all the time. Portable, yes, even with the electronic version, you can pay someone on the other side of the planet. Recognized everywhere, yes. Taxes, yes, that's why the taxes, because you're discharging debt with limited liability. Anonymity, maybe. Some banks require ID for any cash deposit. You can go and buy something at a grocery store for $10 and you won't have to worry about them wanting to know who you are. But if you go and buy a house for $100,000 cash, and the real estate office, they're going to go right through the roof, and they're not going to know what to do with it. And so that's a problem. And the banks, and there's all sorts of reporting requirements. Who knows? You probably get people coming to see you from the Treasury. Who knows? They're a bunch of thieves. Cryptocurrencies. Well, let's see what the story is on those. Well, they cannot be counterfeited. First of all, there's the blockchain. And the blockchain is if you ever have like Bitcoin Core or Ethereum Core, which is the core software for Ethereum or Bitcoin, or any of the cryptocurrencies that are mined. And what happens is that when you download and install that software, it's a huge file, and the reason is because every transaction that was ever completed is encoded in that software. And so every computer on the planet that has that software has every transaction that ever happened. I think that's pretty slick. I kind of like that myself, except that it does take up a lot of space, and it takes time to download, but it's a great protection. It makes it impossible to counterfeit. It makes it impossible to lose it. I mean, unless you lose your keys, okay? But it can't be stolen. Well, actually, it can be under certain circumstances. We're going to talk about that. It's infinitely divisible, okay? I don't care if Bitcoin is worth $1 million, okay? You can still go buy a tea with it if you want, okay? You just have to pay 0.0000001 Bitcoins, okay? And it's no problem. You can do it with your phone, okay? You don't even have to have internet. You go to the Starbucks and you scan a code on their thing, and you send them whatever Bitcoin it is that makes up the dollar or whatever it is, and it's a done deal. They're paid. It'll happen within minutes, and you walk away with your tea. Authenticity verification is completed whenever it's used, okay? That's part of the process. Every transaction is verified for authenticity. It cannot be stolen from a wallet, but it can be lost. If you lose your keys, well, it's gone. Okay, they say that probably maybe 5% of all Bitcoin has been lost. Who knows? But and it can be stolen from an account. And you have to understand when you have an account or when you have a wallet. If you have, like at these crypto exchanges, um, if you like, the crypto exchange is a place where they buy and sell Bitcoin and exchange it for Ethereum and Litecoin and Doge and all these different kinds of cryptocurrencies. And so if you have it on there, it's not a wallet, it's a account. And you do not have, if someone hacks into that computer system and steals a bunch of cryptos, everybody's damaged. And so I don't keep any more at these crypto exchanges than I have to. And I transfer it. I do keep some there to trade, but most of it I keep in wallets. And there's a lot of different kinds of wallets. There's hardware wallets. You can have it right off the internet and completely disconnected. You can have, there's paper wallets, and you can put it into a file cabinet. There's lots of ways you can do it, I'm telling you. And there's more ways every day. It's portable. It's extremely portable. You can pay someone on the other side of the planet for something, and it all gets done complete. It's recognized. It's not as recognized as a lot of them, but it's growing. Taxes, no, because again, you're not discharging your debt with limited liability. Okay. Anonymity, yes. Okay. It is completely anonymous. And let me qualify that, because remember, we talked about the blockchain and how every transaction is recorded on every computer on the planet that has that software on it. Well, so that software includes all the addresses and the amounts of Bitcoin. And so the point being is that someone could go in, like especially Bitcoin is not as secure. There's other cryptocurrencies like Cloak and Monero that are meant to be completely anonymous. And so there's other ones that are anonymous for sure, much more anonymous than Bitcoin. But with Bitcoin, someone could do a little research and find out that certain Bitcoin wallets, or addresses, I should say, have been getting a lot of Bitcoin, for example. And they could maybe even with IP addresses or something, they might even be able to find out a general location for this wallet, where it's at. I mean, they can find out some information. It's pretty tough to find. You got to really know what you're doing, but there is information that can be gleaned. There's no doubt about it. Matter of fact, what a lot of places like Coinbase and are doing now is with Bitcoin is they have a whole bunch of wallets. And so, like, I've got a Electrum wallet on my laptop, and inside of that there are probably 20 or 30 Bitcoin addresses that I can use and to send Bitcoin to that wallet. And so you just use different addresses all the time. And, and so anyways, with a lot of the places are doing Bitcoin. Some of the cryptocurrencies are designed to be anonymous. And so, they're really a lot more difficult to trace. The encryption, and I'm not exactly sure what they do, but I know that they're like Cloak and Monero are known for anonymity. So anyways, keep moving. Don't forget to subscribe to this YouTube channel. Don't forget to follow me on vid.me. And there's my vid.me, Sovereignty International on vid.me. Don't forget to follow me on Steemit at Sovereignty International. Don't forget to like this video. On YouTube, don't forget to click the bell next to the subscribe button so you're notified when there's a new upload. On vid.me, don't forget to upvote this video. And on Steemit, don't forget to upvote and make your comments. And there's my YouTube channel, and the arrow is pointing at the bell. You click on that bell, a pop-up will come up, and it gives you an option of checking a box so that you get notified of uploads. And there's Steemit, and the left arrow is pointing at the upvote button, and the center arrow is pointing at how many votes, and the right arrow is where you can make a comment. And then this is also Steemit. It's pointing at an article by Crypto Wallet, and if you notice the mouse, the arrow is pointing at the Crypto Wallet. The mouse, the little hand is touching the wallet, and this little drop-down menu comes up, and where it says follow, you can follow and unfollow. And so that's how you can follow me. So back to the topic at hand. Cryptocurrencies, my way of selection, okay? And so this is what I do when I do my research. First of all, caveat emptor, buyer beware, okay? So we have to do our own due diligence. Do your own research. So the first question I want to know is it mined? Okay, if it's not mined, I'm not interested. Is it a debt to somebody? Okay, if it's mined, it's not a debt to anybody. And if it's bankster, it's probably a debt to somebody, or it's just fabricated out of nothing. But I'm just interested in the mined ones, first of all. And the bankster paper currency is always a debt to somebody. Bankster cryptocurrency, Ripple, etc., has an infinite supply. It's created only by them. And actually, Cliff High had some great information on he has coins that are a good idea in his newsletters, and he has some that he calls shit coins, and so they're garbage. And so you gotta decide, which ones you like, and again, do your own research. Don't just take my word for it or even his word for it. Do your own research. I like coins that have been around a while. Although there's some ICOs that I'm looking at, but I haven't ever gotten into one yet, but I might. You never know. Anyways, this is the Bitcoin chart, Bitcoin mining. And if you look on the left, it started out in 2009. That's when the Bitcoin started. And you see that there's in 2009, it started out with a certain number of Bitcoins, and it went till 2011. Or is it 2012? I think it's 2012 when the 4 years, 9, 10, 11, 12, in 4 years, what happens is the halving happened. Okay, so it went in half. And then another 4 years, which then is 2016, the second halving happened. And so it's going to get halved. The number of Bitcoins are going to get halved up until 2040, when there'll be no more mined after 2040. And so it's a recipe for it to go through the roof. Quite frankly, it's like you can't lose. You just have to invest your money and buy some Bitcoin and let it sit there for a while. It's like you almost can't lose. And so anyways, at the beginning of Bitcoin, the creator chose 50 Bitcoin to come into existence every 10 minutes. That's 2,625,000 Bitcoins created the first year. Every 4 years, the number of Bitcoins that are mined are cut in half. In 2012, the number of Bitcoins mined were cut in half to 1,312,500 Bitcoins. In 2016, the number was cut in half again to 626,250 Bitcoins. In 2140, 21 million Bitcoins will have been created, and no more Bitcoins will ever be created. But it really doesn't matter, because they're infinitely divisible. So who cares what price they are? You just, if you want to buy something, if somebody wants to pay you for something, then they pay you. You can pay in Bitcoin, and you can take the Bitcoin down and trade it in for something else. Or you can just keep it for a while, let it go up in value. Anyways, and so again, this is the chart, same chart we were looking at a minute ago, and you can see how the halving happens. And so then, like in 2037, I mean, there's going to be very few Bitcoins created. The last probably 8 or 12 years, there's not going to be, it'll be 20 million around, looks like 2027, it'll break 20 million. And so for 13 years, it'll take to create that last 1 million coins. Cryptocurrency mining uses processor time to crunch numbers. Okay, you can buy mining computers and mining cards for desktop computers. The best mining computers are also good gaming computers with powerful video cards, because the mining uses the video CPU or the processor on the video cards. It doesn't use the regular processor. It's video for some reason. I'm not sure why. There's YouTube videos that go into it in great detail, and I would suggest if you're interested in mining, go and look at some YouTube videos and learn how to do it. The country with lower power rates have a lot of miners, like Venezuela, for example, has low power rates, and so there's a lot of people doing mining. But I just saw an article on CNBC today, and it talked about how mining is becoming big business for cryptocurrencies because cryptocurrencies are starting to really go through the roof, and I think it's just going to get better. YouTube videos go into it in great detail. If you want to learn more, I would suggest you go there. Bitcoin and cryptocurrencies. Litecoin is another cryptocurrency, is scheduled to create 84 million coins. It's kind of like comparing with Bitcoin being gold, Litecoin being silver, and the Litecoin gets halved every 4 years as well. Takes a little longer. It's called blockchain technology. Bitcoin Core, okay, is the core software. Bitcoin Core contains every transaction that has ever taken place encoded into the blockchain. Millions of computers around the world have Bitcoin Core running on them. It's impossible to counterfeit a Bitcoin. Because of the blockchain, it is possible to find out information. In other words, how much Bitcoin was sent to a given Bitcoin address. Because of privacy concerns, and other cryptocurrencies like Monero and Cloak have been created. And so there's new currencies coming up that address certain issues. And so it's good to be on top of all that stuff anyways. And they all have a market, okay? There's a lot of stuff. There's a lot of things happening in the cryptocurrency areas. There's cryptocurrency exchanges. There's one called Polonius in Delaware. There's one called Cryptology in New Zealand. That's the one that I like. The one in Delaware is not that big, actually, I don't think. Cryptology, they've got a huge selection of different coins, and that's why I like them. There's many more. There's a lot of crypto exchanges. There's probably 20 or 30 that I know about. But they can be hacked, and Bitcoins have been stolen. Well, and when I say they can be hacked, I mean, there's always a hacker out there trying to look at a new way of doing things. And so, I mean, I guess anything can be hacked is what my point is, except a wallet. And so, I mean, what I usually do is I put enough there to do my trading that I want to trade, and then I take it out. But I've been leaving some there, and I know I have a friend of mine that leaves quite a bit there, actually. When I say quite a bit, I mean maybe $400 or $500 worth, which is, it depends on what you call quite a bit. But me, I might leave $100 there. Anyways, and that's about it. Anyways, cryptocurrencies on an exchange are an account. It's a contract, and bankruptcy can cause loss of the coins. Bank accounts can be hacked, and if banks go bankrupt, you lose money that is not FDIC insured. So it's really no different than having it in a bank account, really, if you think about it, except that there's a lot of advantages that I like over and above that. Anyways, announcing a subscription-based YouTube channel called Sovereignty International. The recommended cost of the subscription is currently $1.99 because it avoids the advertising only. If you like my work, it can be a donation, and certainly donations are appreciated, and it's a modest donation, but hey, every little bit helps, and a whole bunch of people chipping in a little bit can add up to be a lot. And so everything is appreciated. The only power that these New World Order Satanists have over us is through their fraud and deception, and my agenda is to expose it for all our benefit. For that reason, the exclusive material on that channel will be limited. I'm currently publishing a video a week. This is the address of the channel. I am trying to come up with more stuff, but there's not going to be that much exclusive. There's going to be more and more. I'm publishing more and more on the exclusive channel and less on the free one because I pretty well said everything that needs to be said on the free one, and now I'm coming up with stuff that's proprietary, or could be, proprietary. And so I want to encourage people to get this subscription channel. It's only $1.99 a month. It's not like it's that expensive. and it gives you access to some great information. But again, it's up to you. So that's the link to the channel. If you go here, some of the exclusive content that I'm going to have is there's going to be Arlington Private Information Share is exclusive. Land deed training is exclusive. Estoppel certificates training. These are all exclusive videos that I put up there. Foreclosure estoppel certificates training, corporate denial training, toll roads notice and demand training, invoice training, notice of void judgment training, revocation of signature training, third-party witness training. And some upcoming exclusive content. Actually, the federal habeas corpus training's up there. Revocation of voter registration's up there. Criminal complaint training, that's up there. I want to add another one, though. A lawsuit training and other training. And this is the channel. If you look at the top is the address. So if you have trouble finding it, that's the address. And the bottom arrow is pointing at the Start Free Trial. And the reason that's there is because some people actually sent me a donation of $1.99. Now, I wasn't sure if they wanted me to sign them up or what. And so, that's the reason I'm saying it now, is because I have absolutely no control over the subscribers. If you want to subscribe, you absolutely have to click on that Start Free Trial button. I have no control. I can't even see all the subscribers. So if you want to subscribe, you gotta click, and then YouTube is going to want some payment information. Who knows what they'll want? But I have no control over that. Anyways, so back to the topic at hand. When you send cryptocurrencies, there's a fee. Okay, they call it juice. You got to pay for all those computers running out there, and it's not a very big fee, but there is a fee. Recently, somebody sent me approximately $125 worth of Bitcoin, and we checked the fee. The fee was about 50 cents. Okay, so crypto exchanges charge fees when you go and exchange your cryptos for one for another. There's going to be a fee, and so you got to understand that there's always fees, but they're not that bad. And there's fees when you deal with the banksters too. The nice thing about cryptocurrencies, Bitcoin, is that they're infinitely divisible. Cliff High says they're going to come up with slang. Okay, I expect it'll probably be things like kilobits for 1,000 bits for a thousandth of a Bitcoin, which is 0.001 Bitcoins, and maybe even millibits and gigabits. Which a gigabit would be a billionth of a Bitcoin, and a millibit would be a millionth of a Bitcoin. It's the nice thing about cryptos is that there's not a debt to anybody. It's impossible to counterfeit. It can be lost if you lose your keys. There's a public key and a private key, so do not lose your keys. I always print them off, put them in a file cabinet. And my contact information, my blog is sovereigntyinternational.wordpress.com. My website is sovereigntyinternational.fyi. My email address is engineerwin@yahoo. My YouTube profile is Sovereign Living and Sovereignty International. My Facebook community page is deleted because of censorship on the part of Facebook. My private group at Facebook is being deleted. I'm not going to let Facebook profit from my hard work. That's how they make their money, is from all of that. And so I'm gonna ban everybody off of there and delete the group. And my Yahoo private group is called Administrating Your Public Servants. My Google private group is called Administrating Your Public Servants. Follow me on Twitter at EngineerWin. Follow me on vid.me at Sovereignty International, and follow me on Steemit at Sovereignty International. And back to the topic at hand. Okay, so how do you buy cryptocurrencies? Well, you can use a Bitcoin ATM, and there's websites that you can go that'll tell you where the ATMs are. They charge a minimum of 6%, which is actually kind of pricey. I'm working with a guy right now, and we're going to set up some miners, and that's one of the things we want to do is set up a store and have a Bitcoin ATM, and maybe we'll even eventually have a whole series of them, and we're going to bring the fees down, quite frankly. But that's going to take time. It takes money too. Anyways, the 6% fee for $200 is $12, so that's quite pricey. Okay, that's way more than an ATM fee, a standard ATM fee. And they also sell the Bitcoin over the current market price, so they're making money both ways. And so it's always, when you do a search for the Bitcoin ATMs, the websites will usually tell you what their fee is, the percentage, and then what their current market price they're selling their Bitcoin at. And because what you have to do is always Bitcoin, okay? When you go to an ATM, you're going to be always buying Bitcoin, and then you have to send it to a place like Cryptology or Polonius and exchange it for like Ethereum or something like that, okay? Some of these Bitcoin ATMs will do some of the alternative currencies, but most of them do not. And most of the Bitcoin ATMs only sell Bitcoin. Some of them will buy it too, but you're going to have to, the website will tell you that. Sometimes $200 over the market price is what they sell it though for. Some want to take a picture of identification, and I usually walk away from those ones. It's very easy to use. Most of them only sell Bitcoin, and there's YouTube videos that go through it in detail. And this is actually coinatmradar.com, and this is the Dallas-Fort Worth area, and you see all the little balloons. Well, those are Bitcoin machines around the DFW area. Some of them have numbers in them. That means that in that balloon there's 3 Bitcoin machines, and so like in downtown Dallas there's 6. So there's a fair amount. They're not like hundreds of them certainly, but there's a fair amount of them, and you usually don't have to drive too far to find one. So the important thing is to understand that it's going to take you time to find out where these Bitcoin ATMs are if you want to use them, and they can be kind of pricey. So you got to find one that's the cheapest and within a reasonable area for you to buy Bitcoin on. Now, other ways of buying Bitcoin is through Coinbase. Coinbase is now wanting identification. Some wallets provide for buying Bitcoin with a credit card. So you can buy Bitcoin online with a credit card too. Many cryptocurrency exchanges have ways to buy cryptocurrencies with credit cards. The one that I like using the best, quite frankly, is bitquick.co. They charge about a 1% fee. It does not require an identification at first. For the first small transactions. Eventually, though, they ask for ID. But again, they don't do it after you've spent the money. Okay, I mean, some of these places, like they're just the lowest, like Coinbase, the pigs. They go and seize your account, and basically until you provide some ID, and so you're held ransom because they got your Bitcoin. Okay, don't get me going. I filed if you look, I got a criminal complaint against Coinbase. So check it out. Anyways, so eventually they do ask for identification. It provides a bank account at a bank. A part of the process for this bitquick.co is they provide a bank account at a bank of your choice, and you go and deposit cash, and within 3 hours you upload the receipt to them, and within 3 hours the Bitcoin's going to be in your wallet. And there's other similar websites that do the same thing too. This is bitquick.co. And if you notice, see, they let you, there's most popular banks and credit unions. So there's a whole bunch of them. I'm telling you, there's dozens of them. And there's another one. This is a different one, local Bitcoins. And they do basically the same thing. And so there's a lot of ways. See, notice how they sell the price. They tell you what they're selling it at. And so you can, again, that's to buy Bitcoin, so that tells you how much they're selling them at. I don't know what the price of Bitcoin was on that day that I took that snapshot, but it was probably a little bit over the going price at the time. Probably not much though. And then they usually charge you a small fee. They got to make money somehow. Anyways, check out my other videos: Bankster Thieves Playlist, Roman Cult Playlist, Bankrupt Corporate So-Called Governments, Bar Members 1 through 3, Do-It-Yourself, How Not to Volunteer for the Selected Service in the Draft, Martial Laws here, Do-It-Yourself, No Income Tax, Do-It-Yourself, Free Mail 1 and 2, Do-It-Yourself, Kangaroo Courts 1 through 9, the Canada Border Pigs Playlist, Bar Members and their Satanic Connections Playlist. Congress has passed a law, or a so-called law, recently about how the border pigs are asking people about their cryptocurrencies when they're crossing the border. So this is what I can offer for you to tell the border pigs. Number 1 is do not give evidence against yourself. If you're an American, then under Article 5, an amendment, you have the right not to give evidence against yourself. So the question is, have you got a court order? And of course they don't. And so you tell them to go pound sand. And then if you're not an American and you're coming to America, then under the International Covenant on Civil and Political Rights, Article 17, no one shall be subjected to arbitrary and unlawful interference in your privacy, family, home, or correspondence, nor to unlawful attacks on his honor and reputation. Everyone has a right to protection of the law against such interference or attacks. So the question is then have you got a court order? It's up to you. But if you're worried about it, well, it's a simple solution. Is email yourself the keys and delete all the wallets off your phone. And then once you get across the border, you just, you reset the phone before you go through the border pigs. So there's nothing there. Even if they get a hold of your phone, there's nothing there for them to find. And then once you get across, all you do is you get online and you access your keys. You can get your cryptocurrencies and the whole 9 yards. It's quite easy. If you have properly backed everything up, then you should be able to restore everything after you get past the customs pigs. Congress is owned and operated by the Roman cult. Congress equals the Roman cult equals the bankster thieves. And by the way, PIG is an acronym. It stands for persons in government who intend to perjure their oaths. Order followers are Satanists. See Mark Passio's YouTube channel, and that's his YouTube channel right there. He's a brilliant guy. He talks about order followers and just puts them where they belong. And that's his YouTube channel, What on Earth 93. Whoops, too far. Anyways, this is John Adams. The history of the Jesuits is not eloquently written, but it is supported by unquestionable authorities and is very particular and very horrible. There, the Jesuit order's restoration in 1814 by Pope Pius VII is indeed a step towards darkness, cruelty, despotism, and death. I do not like the appearance of the Jesuits. If ever there was a body of men who merited eternal damnation on earth and in hell, it is the Society of Ignatius Loyola. And that's John Adams, second president of the United States. Well said, John Adams. And this is one of the Roman cult's archbishops. Within 20 years, this country is going to rule the world. Kings and emperors will soon pass away, and the democracy of the United States will take their place. When the United States rules the world, the Catholic Church will rule the world. Nothing can stand against the church. I'd like to see the politician who would try to rule against the church in Chicago. His reign would be short indeed. He'd probably turn up dead. Roman Catholic Archbishop James E. Quigley, October 15th, 1854 through July 10th, 1915. That's when he lived. And this was published in the Chicago Daily Tribune, May 5th, 1903. And get a load of this. This is the Roman conquest. 24th of September, 2015. If you look at the top, it says, it's hard to read that red lettering. They're pointing at the second on the left down is an arrow pointing at Joe Biden, and it says Roman Catholic. I can't even read the rest of it. On the bottom it says Roman something bundle of the reeds. Those are fascia. Okay, the bottom arrows pointing at the two fascia next to the podium. Those are bundles of reeds. Bound to a weapon symbolizing subversion under rule of a single authority. Yeah, that's fascia, right? And the guy in the white is a Jesuit, and on the left, I should say on the right, it's a devout Roman Catholic trained by the Jesuits, and I'm not sure who that is that is pointing at. It's maybe Boehner. I'm not sure though. Anyways, it's too bad that's in red. You can't hardly read it. Anyways, this is a QR code. Okay, all Bitcoin wallets on your cell phones have a QR code, and that's how you send your money from one Bitcoin wallet to another. You pull up that Bitcoin wallet, that QR code. Your cell phone scans the other guy's QR code, and then you tell them you tell your software how much money, how much Bitcoin you want to send them, and it goes. And you don't even need the internet or anything. It'll just go there. And all crypto wallets generate a QR code. You can send money using the QR address for the wallet or the QR code. So there's the QR code is basically the address for the wallet, but you can just use the address too if you want. The camera on your phone can scan the QR code and you send cryptocurrency from one phone to another. It's easy, easy. You see QR codes when you go to check out at Walmart too. So I wonder if they can accept Bitcoin. I am not sure. Advantages of cryptocurrency: you can transfer cryptocurrency between two people with no internet using a cell phone. The two people can literally be anywhere, 1 foot apart or on other opposite sides of the planet. Of course, if it's opposite sides of the planet, then they can't have you can't use the QR code. You're going to have to just type in the address. You can use the QR code 1 foot apart or real close. It is not a debt to anyone. It's impossible to counterfeit. It's infinitely divisible, and it circumvents the banksters. Advantages: you can now get Visa and MasterCard debit cards that are loaded with cryptocurrencies. There's new cryptocurrency products being introduced every day. Every day, more merchants accept cryptocurrencies, and there's even a cryptostoresdirectory.com that's coming out. And that allows you to go check out the stores, and there's all sorts of website called purse.io where you can buy stuff on Amazon.com. There's all sorts of things that are coming out. Cliff High says that something will cause a bond market crash. I think that will cause a bank holiday. When the banks close for a period of time, people can still use their cryptocurrencies. The price of cryptocurrencies doesn't matter because they're infinitely divisible. Who cares what it is? I mean, if you need to buy something, you just go buy it. Cryptocurrencies are about to go up and up a lot. Cliff High says they'll go up a lot in 2018 to 19. Matter of fact, if I heard him right, he says it's going to be a rocket. Okay, it's not a rocket yet, and it went up. It's gone up 10 times so far this year, and he's saying it's going to go up 10 times again. It's supposed to be, according to him, the Bitcoin will be at 13,000 next February. That's February of 2018, and so that's basically it's right now about 2,700, and so you're talking about 4 times from now. It'll go up, 400% basically. So we'll see. But it's going to be a ride. So I would encourage everybody to look into it, to learn how cryptos work. They are very liberating. Once you understand how they work, there's no social security number associated with it. It's all the free world. I'll tell you, it's a whole new world, and cryptocurrencies are the wave of the future, in my opinion. Now, I had a guy contact me on my group recently saying that he was concerned about being the mark of the beast, and I do believe that that some sort of digital currency might be the mark of the beast, but I think that the real mark of the beast is a social security number, and it's been around for a long time, and I think that's the mark of the beast. And I think that those are the ones that need to be worried. And there's with the banksters, they don't let you do anything without a social security number. And this allows you to circumvent everything the banksters do. And you can thumb your nose at them and tell them to take a long walk off a short pier. And it's completely out of their control. I like this better than the fiat currency, the worthless paper that they circulate for money. I mean, that's all satanic. It's all Roman law. It all falls in negotiable instrument law and Roman law, and it's all tied into the Roman cult. Anyways, thanks for watching. I hope you get something out of it. Check out cryptos, and it's up to you whether you want to get on board or not. But I would. That's for sure. I am. And I think that it's the wave of the future. Thanks for watching. Have a great day.